Across Genji's games. But I think the mid matchup, one that we didn't highlight in terms of key player, because we like to kind of make the stats look even, make it look interesting. But the laning stats are Chovy's second best to Faker, and Bulldog has surpassed Call Me in terms of his stats in the laning phase. So, you know, it's the top of the table versus the bottom in terms of the mid matchup. So I hope Bulldog gets to play a champion he's comfortable on, but also one that can scale, because the laning phase is just not going to be him making big impact on early objectives. Senna's gone also. Always have to shout that out and give that a thumbs up. The Lucian, I feel a little bit unnecessary to ban here, but it is Genji after all.
Yeah, it does leave stuff like the Varus available. The Renata is also going to be banned. I mean, they already took away
ปกติแพท 14.3 นี่เขาจะเริ่มแบนเมาส์คายกันแล้วนะคุณผู้ฟังเพราะว่ามันเป็นซับที่แบบเขาเรียกว่าอะไรนะแบบในระดับเทียร์ต้นๆน่ะมันเป็นตัวที่ขี้โกงในแพทนี้ถ้าล็อกอะไรเงี้ยมันจะขี้โกง
Go for something like a Sejuani, Yone, they left the Vi open.
ส่วนอูเดียก็แบนเหมือนเดิมเพราะว่ามันไม่ค่อยมีใครเคาน์เตอร์มันได้อะถ้าเอาขึ้นเลนบนนี่คือแบบไม่ค่อยมีตัวเคาน์เตอร์
With this Varus here, you don't necessarily have to lock in a support. You could just get the jungle pick and then react to what the bottom duo is going to be here for Kwangdong Freaks. Of course, you'll only be able to get half.
ปกติเวลาเขาแข่งเขาจะใช้แพทช้ากว่าแพทปัจจุบันประมาณแพทหนึ่งคุณผู้ฟังก็คือตอนนี้ในถ้าเป็นเซิร์ฟเวอร์อื่นมันจะ 14.4 ใช่ไหมในไทยก็ 14.4 นะแต่ว่าของเขาจะช้ากว่าแพทหนึ่งก็คือเป็น 14.3
You're mentioning in terms of denial pick, it takes away the Vi Nautilus combo, which could be pretty rough for the Varus. But either way, Smolder is available, and I think they're just trying to decide if they do want to play it here. And, you know, we saw what Viper was able to do against the Smolder on the Varus. Can Pays do the same because the Smolder is going to be selected? And if you go Aurelion Soul here, I feel like you're
pricing yourself into I need to not get Genji'd, and most teams don't. Most teams aren't able to survive 20 minutes saying, okay, now the real fight begins against Genji. Most teams could say that up until about 10 to 12 minutes, and then we move on. Hui getting locked in here though, a good pick for Bulldog. Gonna shore up some of the weaknesses in terms of the Smolder range, and you can have a lot of poke that allows then Smolder to come in and finish off those kills with his Q once he stacks them up. As Chovy Looking for an Azir here, feeling very confident into this immobile mage in the mid lane that maybe
แต่ว่าหลังๆเหมือนลีก LCK เขาเริ่มชอบใช้เวทกันนะคุณผู้ฟังคือเคยเห็นในแรงค์ไทยแต่ว่ามันก็ไม่ได้โหดอะไรถึงขนาดที่เขาต้องแบนอะแต่ว่าแบกใน LCK เขาชอบหยิบกัน
be confident you
แต่มันเป็นตัวที่แบบใช้สกิลเพลย์ค่อนข้างเยอะอะคือถ้าเกิดไม่โหดก็ไม่โหดเลยแต่ว่าถ้าเจอคนเล่นโหดมันก็จะฆ่ายากอะไรเงี้ย
older because you have got the Varus lane. You have bottom side control by default already. And they're gonna
แต่มันเหมือนเป็นตัวที่ต้องอีตัวเหวยเป็นตัวที่ต้องอาศัยเพื่อนแบบคอยซีให้สักนิดนึงนะคุณผู้ฟังเพราะว่าเหมือนในท่าที่ตัว Sunset Rise อะที่มันเป็นไฟเผาที่ตีไกลๆอะถ้ามันไม่มีเพื่อนสตันให้มันจะโดนค่อนข้างยากนะ
Freaks' thought process is going, although they could also try to target away, a top jungler like Lee Sin if they do want to take that off the board because Genji have not selected it yet.
I think Aatrox definitely a pick that needs a look here. Keen, fantastic Aatrox player. See if they want to take that away.
ส่วน Twisted Fate แพทนี้บอกเลยว่าขี้โกงคือ Twisted Fate นี่โกงมาหลายแพทแล้วคุณผู้ฟังคือแบบในแรงค์ไทยนี่ก็แบนกันสนั่นอ่ะคือตั้งแต่อัพแพทใหม่มาเอางี้ดีกว่าตั้งแต่ซีซั่น14อ่ะตัวมันนี่แบบค่อนข้างขี้โกงนะคือไม่ว่าจะเอาไปเลนกลางเลนล่างอ่ะก็ขี้โกงอ่ะอาจจะเป็นด้วยว่าไอเทมมันหลายๆอย่างด้วย
I feel like for Dudu, is this the Rumble angle where you're just hoping you're going to sit back and scale, drop that equalizer? I don't really like it with Vi here. You're not going to have that much kill pressure on a lot of these champs, especially with the Nautilus.
Yeah, you don't really have much tankiness as well. So they could go for the Poppy. Gnar would be another choice, but I feel like Poppy is a bit more consistent, offers better peel, and does also have a pretty decent matchup into the Cassante. The issue is that a lot of champs have a decent match into Cassante in the top lane, but Cassante oftentimes has a much bigger impact over the game and the team fights.
I actually don't mind the Braum here. You know, it's not my favorite, but I think it is going to mitigate a lot of the pressure in the bottom lane and can be quite good into Cassante and good into Nautilus as well. If you counter ult when the engage comes through and burst down that initial target, can be quite strong. And then the
ส่วนสโมเดอร์หลังจากที่เจอมาหลายๆเกมต้นเกมมันจะไม่ค่อยโหดนะคุณผู้ฟังแต่ว่าพอเลดเกมมันจะขี้โกงมันจะคล้ายๆอาเซียพอเลดเกมมันจะรีดเดเมจได้แบบน่าเกลียด
All right, Gen G coming out with an
ฟิดเดิลนี่เพิ่งเคยเห็นไม่ได้เห็นเขาหยิบมาในลีกนานแล้วนะหมายถึงหยิบในการแข่งจริง
into it, but this is a very
คือมันเป็นตัวที่เล่นยากนะถ้าเกิดโดดใช้คืออันติสกิล4พลาดคุณผู้ฟังมันก็จะแบบเดเวทในไฟก็จะหายไปเลยมันเลยต้องใช้จังหวะเยอะนิดนึงไม่ได้เห็นคนหยิบนานแล้วแต่ถ้าเกิดโดนก็คือชนะไฟไปเลยนะ
top side prio, but you could put your focus on the bottom side instead. And even if you're seeing Keen struggle in the laning phase against this Poppy, which we have seen a few times in the first few levels, maybe you can make an early gank impact there. But the Fiddlesticks is going to be a lot of damage later on and pretty guaranteed engage into this composition. And if you ever get a fear off on these backline carries, that's just the end of the fight. You're going to get Emperors Divided. You're going to get collapsed onto by Keen on that Cassante. And the Varus can layer the CC and put off that insane damage. So you've got to really track where the Fiddlesticks is. And it's a pick that a lot of Korean players aren't used to battling against, even an experienced player like Cuz, because it's just so rare.
From Australia and a first-time watcher of League of Legends as well. A couple of fans coming down. Cool stuff. A lot of disengage, a lot of trying to keep you at range with the Hui, Smolder, and Poppy Braum on the side of Quantum Freaks, and we get Fiddlesticks coming out here for the first time this season. Let's jump into game number 1. Alrighty, game number 1 here on this wonderful Wednesday. Match 51. We have passed over into round 2.
แต่ว่าตัวสโมเดอร์เหมือนไลออดเขาทำมาดีนะคุณผู้ฟังคือแทบไม่ต้องบัฟอะไรเลยไม่เหมือนตัวเว่ยนี่เป็นแชมเปี้ยนที่โดนบัฟมาประมาณ 2-3 รอบแล้วอะเพราะว่าทำมาแล้วอ่อนเกิน คือทำแล้วแบบอัตราชนะมันต่ำแบบโคตรๆอะคุณผู้ฟังเขาเลยต้องบัฟมาแบบหลายแพทมากอะกว่าจะแบบเข้าที่เข้าทางแล้วเอามาใช้แข่งจริงได้อะไอ้สโมเดอร์นี่มาถึงแทบไม่ต้องบัฟเลยนะมาถึงมันก็แบบโอเคในตัวของมันเองเลย
in a lot of ways, and then we had players like Karis really show up 2 series in a row, and I didn't really think I'd ever be saying that about Karis this season. It looked kind of doomed, but it's like they suddenly signed Pulbay, and the guy is under pressure, and then he starts to perform. So
Yeah.
I think Bro winning more than Kwangdong lost in a lot of aspects in terms of the gameplay, in terms of the drafting. That one's on Kwangdong, I think.
Yeah. Certainly, some competition, some pressure can lead to kind of a wake-up call many times, and we don't know all the time what's behind the curtain, but I think it could be a nice guess, Wolf. That could be part of why Karis is turning up his game just a bit.
First strike, Fiddlesticks, futures market, trying to get those item spikes online as soon as possible. Very common to see on AP jungle picks like this one. And, I want to see exactly how much of an impact he can make in this early game, where Genji want to kind of snowball this Varus into a very successful lead, as it's his first pick of the season, of course. And of course, it's the day that Chronicler is off, because Chronicler's always asking for Fiddlesticks, and the one day he's not here.
Of course, yeah. Well, now he gets to comfortably watch from home at least and enjoy, as it has been. The last player to play this was Canyon 1,341 days ago against Bono in 2020, guys. Think about that.
So, 4 years, well,
4 score and 7 years.
Yeah. Canyon, we're just going to watch Fiddlesticks go for the double camp. So you can see you can link them together, obviously, with his Drain. Very common to do. Even with the nerf to the leash range, it's one of the only champions who can still very successfully pull this off. So your speed of clear is very high. And this bottom lane is going about as you'd expect it to. They're just trying to prevent him from successfully stacking. Great positioning there from Lehens. Just not going to be hit by any double achus. Which is the W. I just wanted to say it once.
A choose.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah. A choose your fighter. No. Yeah, the sneeze. It looks like Chovy actually taking a big chunk of damage somehow. We didn't get to see how they were trading as we were watching Fiddlesticks farm the jungle, understandably. Onto a little bit of an awkward spot here, but just kind of walking it off. Flash in from Lehens onto Bull now, as he's going to use the heal, Will Ondil, to try to get him away so Bull can hold on to his summoners.
That's a support you want to have on your team, man. He flashes, he heals for you. You don't have
คือถ้าบอมแฟชช้ากว่านี้อีกนิดนึงนี่คือเกิดใหม่อะ
you want to have by your side, as Ondil will help him get away. But this is still going to be a really bad situation for Bull. Will now have to try to flap his way back to lane as soon as possible here. Doesn't have boots, of course. It's going to be a really long while before he can return, which means the plate's going to go over. It's a cannon wave, so, some of this will be mitigated, but you do not feel good about those lost stacks, the lost farm. He's already doubling the CS here, which is exactly how these Varus lanes are supposed to go into Smolder.
Yep. Especially when they're getting aggressive and they're trying to make plays. I like that from Lehens. It's not even like, okay, we're going to get a kill. It's just, okay, we're going to push them out of lane. We're going to...
แต่ว่าปกติช่วงแรกสโมเดอร์มันสู้ใครไม่ค่อยได้อยู่แล้วคุณผู้ฟังเพราะว่าแบบมันแชมเปี้ยนมันเหมือนออกแบบมาให้มาแบบโหดช่วงท้ายๆเกมอ่ะคือถ้าเทรดกันตรงๆมันจะสู้คนอื่นค่อนข้างยากนะช่วงต้นเกมแต่ถ้าเกิดกลางๆเกมอ่ะมันจะเริ่มโหดแล้ว
No, nothing too bad here for the side of Chovy, but nice attempt at least for Ondil to get something. He was down sums as well, so Chovy just looked at him and was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, misses some XP down on the bottom side. Ping comes down immediately. They do see this with the Scuttle Crab they have. And we do have Cuz coming up here.
Look at how quickly you can clear this, as we're going to see Cuz check this out. Gets the first one here.
That's pretty interesting, the second one, because Cuz is still going to get it. So a bit early from Canyon on his smite, as Cuz will take down 2 of them. Canyon really hoping he can get those on spawn, and as you're mentioning, just the triple suck and try to take them down as fast as possible.
Yeah, really unfortunate he's not able to do so. Cuz actually gets the better end of it. He at least gets the first one for his experience. It's another hook.
Yeah. This is what the Braum offers you, I suppose. You put up the door. If you get engaged upon. Just try to keep your smolder safe. But
Oh, Lehens is so mad that Pace decided to go for that instead of getting the cannon. I can see it in his movement. Oh, missed the cannon. Didn't get any poke down really either. You hate to see it.
yeah, that's rough.
Look at his face. Lehens is disappointed.
Lecturing him right now.
You can see the way he's moving. He's like, oh man, you're not going to get the cannon. I got to get it. Then he doesn't get it either. Oh, it's a tragedy. Everyone's been there. Everyone's been there with your bot lane partner. You're like, oh man, get that cannon, please. I'm going to get it, and then you don't get it either. You're like, oh, it's all your fault.
Yeah, and then you just go support mid instead, at least in solo queue. We do have Canyon. He will pick up this early Ocean Drake, which is very nice. If you're going to get an Ocean Drake, it's good to get it as the first one. Just offers you some good laning potential to just sustain up and stick around for as long as possible.
Yeah, very good for just making sure you can take as many trades as possible and then just eventually win out long term. Dudu going to get hit by that turret, but nothing will come of this. It's the noodle fight up here for now. That's what that bottom side prio was going to get you, though. Early Dragon goes over to Cannon. He was trying to go for double objective, was unsuccessful at getting all three of the buffs, but at least in some regards was able to get double objective because he got the experience. Now has level 6, so the Fiddlesticks with his Sork Pen boots is going to be an engaged threat in any skirmish that does occur or any overextension in any lane. He's now relevant, except just PvE, which was the early game Fiddlesticks relevance that we saw moments before. See what he can make of this pick right now. Going aggressively towards bottom side as we speak. And this is what mid prio is going to get you, bot prio, so the dive potential here is real. And, until it's set up, you could just take camps away from Cuz.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking camps there, but Cuz and Bulldog able to get a nice amount of vision in the enemy jungle and steal a bunch of their stuff as well. Took the red buff away, did Cuz. And Canyon was spotted on the control ward as well, so you see even Bulldog trying to come over here, maybe support this red buff take.
แต่ว่าจากที่ดูของคุณผู้ฟังสโมเดอร์นี่มันเป็นตัวที่ไปได้หลายเลนมากเลยนะคือแบบบนก็ได้กลางก็ได้ล่างก็ได้อะอันนี้คือไปเช็คจากเว็บ OPGG นะคือเป็นเว็บหลักของเกมแบบที่บอกสถิติของเกม L ว่าแชมเปี้ยนไหนไปเลนไหนได้บ้างอ่ะคือไอตัวเนี้ยไปได้3เลนเลยนะแล้วอัตราชนะก็ไม่ได้แย่ด้วยคือเป็นตัวที่เฟลกได้ค่อนข้างมากอ่ะอาจจะเป็นเหตุผลหนึ่งที่เขาใช้เอาไปในการแข่งอ่ะ
For Cuz spent down here, but absolutely worth it. He's going to try to hide here and look for a potential counter gank.
Yeah, I mean, they're expecting this. As ward comes down, you see Cuz is going to back away. Kind of awkward now for Canyon because Quantum Freaks don't want to push forward, and that's not going to make it easy for him to gank.
Yeah. So just two junglers looking out for the bot lanes. A more aggressive option here for Canyon, but Cuz also covering super well, so neither player can actually make a proactive play, but they get the red buff. And as you mentioned, the jungle was stolen away by Cuz earlier, so ends up being kind of an even trade. It's only a small gold lead here for Genji as we crest 9 minutes. They were able to get that first dragon, which is very significant. It's ocean into cloud, so we could have something like an Infernal Soul. That could be very relevant.
Canyon still looking for that first ult as Dudu in a bit of trouble. He is going to Ghost, and he does get the knockback as Keen will not be.
คือตอนแรกคิดว่าปีตายแล้วนะ
So Dudu does survive with his Ghost, traded with Keen.
Can you at least be able to drain these down here? They have Lehens in the area as well as Chovy's prio, so it should not be Cuz coming over here to get the better of him a second time. So really nice timing there for Keen to kind of go all in and look for the play topside while Canyon's there because
แต่ว่าเพิ่งสังเกตนี่แหละฟิดเดิลเป็นตัวที่น่าจะเป็นตัวที่เอาไว้ครับได้ง่ายพอๆกับเคนอ่ะเคนยังเอาช้ากว่าฟิดเดิลนะฟิดเดิลด้วยสกิลดูดเลือดมันค่อนข้างขี้โกงนะเอาไว้ครับได้ค่อนข้างเร็วอ่ะเพิ่งสังเกตนี่แหละ
Bloodless exchange, but it's a very strong one. Good pathing there from Canyon.
Yeah, they catch up a bit in the buffs. They don't get to 5, which is kind of the break point, but to be honest, true damage feels a lot more strong than the little dudes that have like 0 health and take 1 tower shot to kill. So they get those, but they also get the Ocean Drake, and they are winning the bot lane. So
แต่ว่าตอนนี้เงินก็พอๆกันนะอาจจะเห็นความต่างชัดๆตอนไฟมังกรตัว2ไม่ก็ตัว3อ่ะ
I will say if the Smolder just gets to kind of farm out and never dies, and even if he does farm a little bit slowly, it's okay. It just kind of delays when you're going to have that really strong first Smolder fight at 225 stacks. Yesterday I was casting, or co-streaming rather, Challenger League, and Taeyun got 225 at like 27 minutes. It was like really late, but he ended up being a powerhouse anyway because they were able to, you know, delay, and then actually go for the really important fights after the 27 minutes.
No,
mark.
it's exactly right. I mean, the Smolder pick does become relevant kind of no matter what. It's just a question of whether you can live to tell the tale in that fight, right? And this is what we were talking about earlier with Genji. Most teams don't live to get to late game against this squad where they're standing on 2 feet, where they have any sort of control to get to an objective or fight a neutral. Guangdong Freaks are still at that point now, and even though Smolder is pushed under turret here, he can come over and help.
ดูแล้วน่าจะไฟนะเพราะว่าแอดเสียเทเลมาแล้ว
So this is going to be the first real
หมายถึงมังกรตัวเนี้ย
this one.
Yeah, Ondo just face checking in. He should know that Fiddle is around. He put up his door in the wrong direction. He's just dead. Kind of confusing, but that's going to be the end of the support.
น่าจะเสียมังกรครับเพราะว่าบอมตายไปก่อน
Pick up 2 Drakes.
I mean, I'm guessing, oh, okay, this could be bad.
Yeah, Cuz clearing a ward, and Flash comes over the wall. He's going to R into the Azir, and somehow he gets away for now. Flash forward from Chovy, trying to shut him down. One more auto will do it.
เฮ้ยตอนแรกนึกว่ารอดนะเนี่ยตายเฉย
Right in front of Chovy.
Yeah, Chovy's engage range is so big. He had flash, they knew that, and he just was really greedy. I think super frustrated, maybe just tunneling a little bit on like, well, I guess
คือคำนวณเดเมจมาดีมากอะโชวี่
prize him.
Tech Soul.
Okay, well that's good news for Guangdong at least, but I mean this moment here is really just a little bit inexcusable because you don't have vision in the area. You've got to know that Canyon is nearby, and Hayes obviously has control of the bottom side. The only thing I could think of was he wanted to rush back down there because he thought maybe they were looking for a dive onto the Smolder, and then this is just an attempted ward clear gone extremely wrong. Doesn't even get it, by the way, to add insult to injury, as the controller will survive. He will not. Chovy, the really nice follow-up there. The flash going to put him in range. Sand Shoulders go up. Last few autos take him out. And that's disastrous here for Guangdong Freaks.
It definitely is. Now Cuz looking to get his own revenge, looking for Canyon, as that plant not really going to help him anyway. Canyon is trying to get some health back. We'll see if he can even challenge the red buff, as now Dudu has joined, and Canyon will just give it up. I mean, red buff, not the most important for Fiddle, but still would be nice to get it.
And we haven't really talked about the fact that he's playing Fiddle into Vi, which is in itself such a terrifying concept, and the 1v1 is not going to go your way, especially if you've used cooldowns on a camp and the Vi comes in and invades you. But Canyon's just avoided Cuz so well this entire game and has put the pressure on when it's required. Like here when he has Chovy to back him up, he will challenge the Vi, right? It's not a true 1v1 there, and he knows how to use the pressure points so well. Is Mom going to be used here to try to clear this?
This video is sponsored by Porofester, which is an app and overlay that gives you a huge...
Yeah, will delay some of his stacking, but again, just trying to survive, trying to not to get too far behind. They don't have any control of their jungle, so I think it's the right call from Bull to just say, well, I don't know what's going on. They could be here, and I'm just going to back away, because if Fiddle dives with the Nautilus, you're dead. I don't care how much you flap down there in the bottom side, it won't get you away.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, and so much deep vision here around the red buff just means that Bull has never been able to comfortably do anything but try his best to Q minions. And that's what Smolder does, but now he doesn't have a turret to hide under here. He's going to go mid, of course, but there is no answer to this push right now, and Genji might even try to push the issue even further because Herald is not really contestable. Keen has teleport, and see how much they actually want to commit to here. Oh, just hoping maybe that someone was going to come down here and they'd catch them, Poppy namely, but timing doesn't work out.
There's a chance that maybe Bulldog like TP's bot if there was a big wave, but 2 ranged minions and Bulldog is top, so just going to send Dudu down there and it should be fine.
So Herald goes over to Guangdong Freaks, but there's not a great place to use it because they don't have prio mid, and I mean they do at this very moment until Paze shows up, and then they will lose it very quickly. And bottom side, obviously, they don't have a lot of control. All the turrets are healthy, and the objective doesn't spawn for 2 minutes, and it would be the first Chemtech Dragon for them of the game. First Dragon in general, and just a solo Chemtech. So, yeah, you got the Herald, but what does it really mean? What does it really do for you? Unfortunately here, not a whole lot.
Yeah, they're going to struggle to find really the angle. Bull here, 15 minutes in, only 76 stacks. So that pressure down on the bottom side has really worked out. We've seen Smolders that have hit 225 at 20 minutes in some games. So certainly very behind in terms of his stacking. Of course, it will speed up as you get some of the upgrades as you hit those breakpoints. But yeah, it's going to be a bit rough for him.
There's a huge spike at 125 where you start to really obviously stack much easier. So that's the point you're really searching for before 17 if you can, and then you start to really stack them up. But Chovy here.
Yeah, Chovy, he did go for arm guard, by the way. I wanted to mention this pretty early on. Generally, you want to rush out like Nashers, Leandries, and go for more damage, but he does get this defensive.
ไม่ว่าจะมีไฟนะแต่พอเสียอันตีก็คือจบอะ
Engage deeper. Will choose to burn his ultimate instead of using the one arm guard that he has when encountering Cuz in the jungle. Just
เพิ่มมังกรโดนถัดไป KDF อาจจะบ่อยที่ซ้ำนะเขาอาจจะคิดว่าแบบเงินเริ่มห่างรอสโมเดอร์สแต็กให้ครบก่อนอะไรอย่างเงี้ย
have to sit back and farm. And Genji have done such a good job.
แต่ต่อให้สโมเดอร์เลดเกมมันสแต็กเริ่มโอเคมันก็จะมีอาเซียของฝั่งเจนจีอ่ะเพราะเจนจีเลดเกมอาเซียก็ขี้โกงเหมือนกันนะมันรีดเดเมจได้เยอะพอๆกับสโมเดอร์แหละ
Threaten Smolder, force Ondil to come down, force Cuz to babysit that, which allows Keen to have a free laning phase. It's not an easy matchup into the Poppy, but he's maintained CS. He's not been under really any pressure or threat. And this Vi pick feels invisible, unfortunately, because of it. So far, in this game, just hasn't been relevant. Will be relevant later on in team fights, of course, if they can engage on top of Chovy when he doesn't have Zhonya's, or engage on top of Pays if he's out of position. But the strongest point for this Vi to maybe counterplay some of the aggressive prio has been missed by Cuz.
Yeah, now we have Bull in kind of an awkward spot here. He's going to be forced.
ถ้าเกิดสโมเดอร์แปดช้านิดเดียวน่าจะเกิดใหม่แล้ว
Looks like just
คือแปดไปหลายรอบแล้วนะ
He just got scared and had to flash away.
yeah, we do have Cuz decides not to crash into the turret just for his own sake. Now he is a great driver, but kind of unfortunate on that one.
Yeah, maybe looking for a knock up there to try to find something with the
เมื่อกี้ที่ไม่ชนน่าจะเพราะว่าถ้าเกิดเอาลิฟต์ไปชนเทอร์เรตเมื่อกี้น่าจะตายอ่ะเพราะว่าพอจังหวะที่กระเด็นออกมาจากลิฟต์มันจะโดนนอติลุสฮุกไง
use it in general against Genji right now.
สรุปเขาไม่บ่อยอ่ะแสดงว่าอันนี้น่าจะไฟละ
As much as possible. Honestly, even giving up this Drake I think is fine, but they don't want to let them get to soul point.
แต่ว่าฝั่งเจนจีก็น่าจะสู้เหมือนกันเพราะเทเลมาแล้ว
Here, but the damage is there as well. The burst coming in from the Vibe, but the stopwatch is just so good. Can Chovy get out? Yes, he can. Puts up the soldiers, and now Kwangdong are in a lot of trouble due to he does ult, but he's dead anyway. Does not matter, and it's nearly a full wipe as the two damage dealers.
เกือบสวยนะแต่ไอ้นั่นน่ะฟอปปี้ผลักไอ้อาเซียติดกำแพงช้าไปอ่ะไม่แน่ใจว่าคูลดาวน์หรือเปล่าเหมือนไม่ได้คูลดาวน์น่าจะอาจจะคูลดาวน์ก็ได้เดานะ
They only have one
ถ้า
carry.
เกิดบ๊อบบี้ผลักอาเซียติดกำแพงทันก็คืออาเซียมันหนีไม่ได้อยู่แล้วเพราะมันแฟลตแล้วไง
Point. And so if you spend everything on Chovy and he just stopwatches it, that's the end of the fight. And I get it because
เฮ้ยไม่ดิน่าจะทันเพราะว่าเหมือนอาเซียแฟลตด้วยแล้วก็พุ่งหนีด้วยก็เลยรอด
time. So it is valuable in that regard. They win that fight. They buy
เพราะตอนแรกอาเซียซอนย่าคิดว่ายังไงก็ตายเพราะว่าบ๊อบบี้มันผลักติดกำแพงไงเดี๋ยวดูใหม่
Azir, so he has the ability to get out and then shuffle, or rather, and then ult. So it's even a flash commit to this Bulldog's ultimate here going down. They're trying to chain CC him, but they don't have enough CC to stop him from arm guarding. And then after that, Bulldog can't do anything. Good positioning here as
อ๋อก็คือโชวี่แฟลตหนีแล้วก็ใช้ท่าไอ้นั่นน่ะท่าพุ่งหนีด้วยมั้งเฮ้ยแฟลตเฉยๆก็คือรอดแล้ว
defensive play there, and Genji just walk away from this massive victory, bigger than they would have been if Quantum Freaks had just given it up. So double win here
เกมนี้ก็น่าจะเรียบร้อยอ่ะ
means, but it is definitely a much more uphill battle from here for the Smolder now.
Yeah, I mean, it's 5,500 gold at this point, and if there is a team in the LCK that knows how to push advantages that isn't T1, it's Genji, right? It's these two at the top. So absolutely they'll be looking to try to end this before Bull is even a factor at all in this game. As you can see, they're trying to make him not a factor right now as the ult comes over the top. Mom will be called in and does clear out the wave. They go pretty deep for this one, but they will get the Braum anyway with basically no follow-up here from the side of Quantum Freaks. A lot of damage going into Keen, but he's Cassante, so we're not worried about him.
Because I was just gonna say, I don't think you're getting that kill. Please do not chase. We'll get the ward this time. This time he's able to get the ward successfully. That's all they're going to get. And I mean, a lot of tools used in this fight 3 ultimates down here, and Canyon loses Flash, but they still catch the wave afterwards, and it doesn't matter because there's no objective to fight for. Quantum Freaks can't start a Baron. It's going to be a really long time before they could ever consider being like, I'm starting a Baron, what are you going to do about it? I don't know if that's ever going to happen this game. I don't know if they're ever going to be the first to hit the worm, but yeah, just a really nice dive set up there from Canyon. Once again, over the wall, good ult. Looked a little bit scary, but he also bought Seeker's Arm Guard. Everyone's going into this now. It's very expensive, but if you can itemize into Zonia's, it's 100% worth it. So he's allowed to make this play and absorb all this pressure. And once again, just like before, everything is used on the Seeker's Arm Guard, and then they juggle aggro and get away.
Yeah. I mean, Stasis has always been OP. The fact that it was only 650 gold in the past is actually mind-blowing. And it was a rune, so you could just get it for free. And now, the fact that you see players buying it for 1,600, it kind of shows you, right, that...
สโมเดอร์ก็เพิ่งได้145สแต็กมันต้องประมาณ225มันถึงจะได้พาสซีฟเอลเดอร์ดากอน
even later on, 80 carries will still build the arm
คิ
guard.
ดว่ายังไงก็ไม่รอดเพราะว่าเลนเกมฝั่งนั้นก็มีอาเซียอยู่
Is what it is, especially if the enemy team is going to go all in onto you. It is incredibly powerful, and Chovy identified that early. So really, it just comes down to Chovy with really smart itemization.
Absolutely. I mean, Faker started doing it first. I think a lot of Azir players have followed suit since, and I mean, it's just one of the weak points of Azir we talked about in like weeks 1 and 2 as to why he was struggling, and now with proper itemization, you can use them.
แต่ว่าแพท 14.3 ที่เขาแข่งกันอยู่มันจะมีอีกตัวนึงนะคุณผู้ฟังที่โหดๆคือตัวอีลาวอีอ่ะตัวปลาหมึกตัวนี้ท็อปเลนก็โหดนะแต่ว่าเขาไม่ค่อยหยิบกันในการแข่งมันจะเป็นตัวโซโล่แรงมั้งถ้าให้เดานะขนาดแบนเขายังไม่แบนเลย
Also allows them to make an aggressive play when they have map control, which they have now more than they had even moments before. And Gen G, this comp actually can start Baron because there's not a whole lot that Quantum Freak could.
อีลาวอีก็คือตัวปลาหมึกที่มันเป็นพาสซีฟมันปล่อยหนวดปลาหมึกออกมานั่นแหละ
Quantum Freaks have to scan out, have to be diligent about. They know Keen has teleport, so you can see a big group even from Bulldog here to make sure it's not being done, so they can clear that vision away.
Yeah. Nope, not going to do anything here. Pays did go for the lethality Varus, so it's a bit slower if it were, you know, on-hit Varus, but that's still fine. As you mentioned, they still have very fast Baron damage and have to be careful about that. It does look like Gen G do want to just wait for the Chemtech Soul and not really rush this one too much. Again, you are on a little bit of a timer with the Hui getting items. Obviously the Smolder is the big one, but Chemtech
มังกรตัว4 KDF อาจจะปล่อยนะเพราะถ้าสู้ก็น่าจะไม่รอดอ่ะเพราะว่าฝั่งนั้นมี Nautilus มัน engage มันเป็น hard engage อยู่แล้วคือแบบมันบังคับไฟได้อ่ะ
So it's also going to function as the Elder Spawner, which
ถ้าเกิดจะ contest ก็อาจจะเสียอย่างน้อยตัว2ตัว
Yeah, he's gonna TP, he's gonna get it off and immediately get just Chains of Corruption, so he's in a lot of trouble. The back and frontier is good from Kwangdong, but immediately the Braum dies. As now Mom will be called in, a bit of damage. Nearly takes out Pays, actually, who did have to ghost, but
ตอนแรกนี่ว่าเว่ยตายแล้วนะ
right before this dragon spawns.
and it looked like Gen G even intentionally wanted the teleport to finish there. I think they
อ๋อที่รอดน่าจะเป็นเพราะว่าไอ้นั่นไอ้บอมเอาตั้งโล่เอาธนูไปรับธนูวารัสอ่ะไม่งั้นก็คือตายอ่ะ
so you don't even get to have
เพราะว่าตะกี้เว่ยมันโดนสกิล4ของวารัสไปแล้วไง
dismantle that, and then there's just no recourse for you. There's no contest. So oppressive the way they play, and scaling is just not going to cut it. And I get it because Bulldogs had weak laning phases, so I think generally Quantum Freaks have kind of tilted towards our best chances in the late game. Our best chance we play slow. It's why he's played.
จริงด้วยบอมเอาโล่ไปวางกันไว้
Put the focus onto Ondil. Canyon wanted more. They're just going to get the flash out of Bulldog instead. But the Sundis means they knew they were safe. There was never going to be any sort of follow-up chase there or any sort of punish. But this is why we're seeing Kwangdong draft like this, is there's that hole in the mid lane. Even though Bulldog has been a great late game player, like he has done so much despite early deficits. And so it's either the Hui and the Smolder, or it's the Smolder and the Double Dragon with the Aurelian Soul that they've leaned towards so heavily recently. But against teams that are so good in the early game like Gen G and recently Bro, it's just not being successful, unfortunately, for Quantum Freaks.
Trying to go for a Scuttle Crab, and yes, it is a powerful Scuttle Crab, but it's not worth Bull's Flash and also not getting the Scuttle Crab. So
ตะกี้ถ้าไม่แฟดก็คือตายอ่ะโดนเคซันเต้ติดเตะทะลุกำแพงแน่นอน
going for Baron. still, that is going to be Bull now flashless. Slahen's just gonna hook away.
Cuz has great game sense there, though. He's kind of like, I know that if they don't think that I can kill him, he will die, and forces them to regroup, waste a little bit of their time, at least getting something out of that. But I mean, this is just so oppressive here for Gen.G, and the Scuttle Crab would have allowed them to clear some of that vision, and also would have given them permanent vision towards that Baron, so they can know if Gen.G are starting it up. Because now every time Gen.G are missing for just a second, they have to start grouping towards that. It's so frustrating here. With all the deep control vision now that Gen.G have set up, like in this moment, are they doing Baron? You got a blue trinket that. Every single time, you just don't know. And now you're like, well, I can't even walk towards that brush. We have no more vision anymore. Gen.G are so impatient almost. They're like, oh, they're not even going to come to us. We missed the window. They trinketed us. Can we find something else?
Yeah. I mean, Gen.G's turn is insane. And I think that you do have an opportunity to just go ahead and start it. But Smolder did just hit 225 stacks. So an opportunity, potentially, for Bull to begin to do a bit of damage, as the burn will come in, and the Braum is pretty difficult to take down. The Chains of Corruption.
เฮ้ยเหมือนสโมเดอร์ได้สกิลบัฟเอลเดอร์แล้วแต่ว่าก็นั่นแหละมันเงินตามไปค่อนข้างเยอะแล้ว
Going freaks, it's not really what you're looking for here.
They need Bull to hit poke, and they need it so desperately. If he can, or sorry, Bulldog, that is to say, if he can hit poke consistently, then maybe they could actually turn. As they're actually split here. Gen.G slowly starting Baron. This is not something Quantum Freaks are aware of, and they could delay so well here with this Nautilus, with this Cassante.
Yeah. Also the poke from the lethality Varus. Now it's beginning to hurt as Bulldog gets too close to the sun. The root comes in, and he's got a Cassante right on top of him, as he is not going to survive that for very long. You see Bull is doing a nice amount of damage, but again, Cassante and Gen.G are so far ahead at this point. Nice hook comes in. They're going to take down Ondale. And we did have also, goes very far behind, as that's going to be Bull going down as well. Just trying to do his best to do some damage, but immediately pays the price.
น่าจะเรียบร้อยละ
He didn't have it from the earlier Scuttle mishap that you pointed out, so he's not able to do anything when Chovy
10-0 คือ KDF ฆ่าใครไม่ได้สักตัวเลย
hit enough poke there. They just don't have vision. You know, the control vision is so oppressive, and by the time they realize this, they're walking into a Cassante. Pays is here on the cross angle where he can actually just toss arrows in, and Bulldog, he cues him once, then Cuz goes in by himself, and then the turn with Keen is just so unreal. It's so strong, and yeah, you're Bull at 225, but each and every Q isn't just a default win button at this point. You actually have to hit enough of them. You have to have a team with you to frontline for you to actually keep stacking those, because I think this fight he hit maybe, what, 3 in the actual fight before it was over, and it's just not enough. You need a lot more. You need a lot more setup, and you need pokes so that you can actually guarantee kills with those. So, oh.
He's fine.
He's okay.
he's okay. But yeah, Gen.G, slow and steady wins the race for them. They don't seem very threatened by Smolder. They're not rushing anything. They slowly pick up a Chemtech Soul. They play it very slow around getting the Baron. They send 2 guys over, 3 to block. And yeah, I mean, Quantum Freaks, they're just going to have to hope and pray that Gen.G can't end this game anytime soon and try to go 40 minutes here. Otherwise, I think this one might be...
เงินก็นำเกือบหมื่นแล้ว คือกลับมายากแล้วคุณผู้ฟัง
This Baron that they take leans into Prio for Elder.
น่าจะรอโดนบัฟบาลอนดันบ้านแตก
In this game at 30 minutes. And, I mean, look at bottom as well. Quantum Freaks is leaving that lane to the wayside because this Baron push is so oppressive, and there's just no way to actually free farm down there. Even, you know, Bull, who maybe could be down there getting additional stacks, just trying to help stave this off so they don't end up losing an inhibitor turret. But with no one bottom side, that Elder is basically guaranteed here for Gen.G, barring a huge mistake.
Doesn't look like he's got his W up. He's going to use it now and does get over the wall nicely, taxiing onto the Raptors. But yeah, Gen.G really making their presence felt here. They're like, no, we are going to move in towards the Elder Drake, and we are going to take this objective down. They're going to take the red buff as well.
He gets out, and red buff goes down. They're looking like they're going to try to teleport Keen back into this one, but they could practically do this on spawn right now. I mean, look at the mid-wave that is sent through here by Pays. Bulldog also has teleport here. They get the Scuttle. They see that nobody's around the pit. 8 seconds to go until spawn. Keen's teleported in. He's going to push this wave, and Gen.G are just crossing their T's, dotting their I's, man. They're like, we get every objective. Once the Elder is there, the game is over. So dangerous to even be close to the pit.
Yeah. Nice zoom out from Jonah Strong. He just says, okay, there's zero vision. Like, they don't know anything. There is one ward in the Dragon Pit currently. So that is one that Genji, if they do want to start this up, they'll have to take down. I'm sure Chovy can just go over there and just whack it once. And maybe he's out of range. Huh. Okay, they're going to get it now.
Just a blue trinket they put up right moments ago.
And they can start this. I mean, again, their turn is amazing. They don't necessarily, even Cannon can slowly solo it.
Exactly, because he's got the damage to do so, and he's got the heal with the drain. He should be fine.
He's kind of in an awkward spot. But again, Cassante. And pretty well fed at this point, so he's not really scared of taking too much damage even from the Smolder.
I feel like Genji are just not willing to flip this Elder. They're not willing to actually fully commit to it, so they're just hoping that
คือตอนนี้เจนจีแค่ระวังไม่ให้ดากอนเอลเดอร์ดากอนโดนลัดก็พอเพราะว่าถ้าสมมติโดนขโมยบัฟเอลเดอร์ใบนี้ต่อให้ของนำก็สู้ยากนะคุณผู้ฟังเพราะว่าบัฟมันขี้โกง
take the Elder, and they are going to do that just now as Keen's going to block the door here in the Tri-Brush.
Somebody's got to go in, but look at that massive ult coming in from Canyon. They wait, and they find the angle as Canyon is going to be traded back, though. It's only going to be him to go down, though, as Dudu very far behind is not here to peel for
ตอนแรกคิดว่าฟิดเดิลจะซอนย่านะแต่ว่าสรุปซอนย่าไม่ทันตายไปเลย
time, maybe not, especially knowing which
เนี่ยดูดิฟิดเดิลซอนย่ายังไม่ได้กดใช้เลยโดนซีซีตายก่อน
Such a patient team in
แต่
that.
ว่าน่าจะจบแล้วแหละ
The fact that there was no vision, trying to count members of Genji so they knew that there was no possibility the Elder was
เพราะว่า KDF ก็ฆ่าได้ตัวหนึ่ง
off. That's really annoying. But eventually you stretch a rubber band far enough, as Quantum Freaks did there, and it's going to snap. And that was the moment when Canyon just flash ulted over the wall into the Tri-Brush where Keen was being collapsed on. Is this just a sad moment here for Dudu as he cannot defend the Nexus.
And that's going to do it. Game one will go over to Gen G. They say 0 mistakes today's.
クラッシャーインフィルノサイドクラッシャーおっうわっ Inferno! Psycho Crusher! Inferno! Psycho Crusher!